running through the homework. So 1 through 9 are done. Remember, we're not just plugging it into a calculator and given a 10 decimal equivalent. Sorry if I'm interrupting you, especially those of you who have not done anything. So, number 27 breaks down to 9 times 3. Square root of 9 is going to be 3, so we combine it with 3 root 3. Number 2, 48 breaks down to 3 and 16. Some people might say, well, 4 and 12 also work. And you're absolutely right, but 16 is the largest perfect square. So I break root 16 down, I get 4 root 3. 125 breaks down to 25 times 5, so that gives me 5 root 5. Number 4 breaks down to 9 and 5, so square root of 9 is 3, so I get 3 root 5. 150 breaks down to 25 and 6, so I get 5 root 6. Number 6 is breaks down to 4 and 5, so that's 2 root 5. Number 7, you have 4 and root 36, but root 36 is a perfect square, so you get 4 times 6, which is 24. Number 8, let's see, 28 breaks down to 4 and 7. You also have a 3 outside, so then you take the square root of 4, which you get 2, and the 3 and 2 have to multiply together to produce 6, so 6 root 7 for number 8. And then number 9, square root of 400 is just 20. Works out. Is there any of those that you have a question about? You okay about it? And then we get down to working with the quadratic formula, which works out nicely. So you get to worksheet number 2. The red is always going to be the same thing. So you have the negative out in front, the plus or minus, the square root, the squared, and the minus 4, and all over 2. And the 5 is our b value, 2 is our a value, the c is our 3 is our c value. So if you go and you work out the arithmetic, you get negative 5 plus or minus 25, that's negative 8, negative 24 over 4. You get negative 5 plus or minus, what does this come out to? Yeah, it's square root of 1, which is 1 over 4. And this one will work out. Negative 5 plus 1 is negative 4. So I get negative 4 over 4, which is equal to negative 1. And then negative 5 minus 1 is negative 6, so I get negative 6 over 4 equals negative 3 over 2. And that's how we go about that problem. Make sense? Number 11, my A's, B's, and C's. A is 1, B is 2, C is negative 13, so I plug those into the quadratic formula, which is on your sheet. Let's go through and do the arithmetic. So I get negative 2 plus or minus square root 4 minus negative times negative is going to be positive. So I get 4 times 1, which is 4. 4 times 13 is 52. All over 2. So I then get negative 2 plus or minus square root of 56 over 2. Check to see if 56 will break down into perfect squares. So I know that 4 goes into 56 14 times. 4 and 14. So this is going to then reduce to negative 2 plus or minus square root 14 times 4 all over 2. This portion is root 14, root 4. Root 14, root 4 is 2 root 14. Let's extend the page. So that's going to give me negative 2 plus or minus 2 root 14 all over 2. And then we can reduce. This, and this all reduce. So I get negative 1 plus or minus root 14 all over 1. Or that's what my answer is. Okay? Here's a little earbud out. It'd be nice if you took some notes. Or as a blank page for whatever reason. Number 12, my A, my B, my C are 1, 6, and negative 5. Let's plug our values in. So I get negative 6 plus or minus root 36 minus 4 times 1 times negative 5, so plus. So that's plus 20 over 2. Looks like we're going to get root 56 under the radical, well, again. So we just discovered that 4 goes into 56 14 times. So this is going to change into negative 6 plus or minus root 14 root 4, which is going to be 2 root 14, all over 2. This, and this will all reduce, so I get negative 3 plus or minus 1. I don't really need the 1 because then I have a root 14. Done. Questions so far? So quadratic formula is a good tool for us. It gives us irrational answers, meaning that we can't turn them into fractions, which is fine, but we can work on them. Number 13, my A value is 1, my B value is negative 2, my C value is 7. So we're going to plug our values in. And this is the skeleton of the quadratic formula. So I get x equals negative b. B happens to be negative 2. So what's going to happen to that? It's going to become positive. And then I get negative 2 squared. So I need to make sure I understand how to square that. Minus 4 times a times c all over 2a. So negative 2 is 2 plus or minus 4. What does this come out to? Close. Negative 28 over 2. So then let's extend that page. 2 plus or minus negative 24 over 2. What did I say you do when you have a negative in the radical? What letter comes out in front of the radical sign? I. Good. So this is the same thing as writing this. Is that okay so far? Notice the negative that was under the radical is now gone. The I is representing that. Okay? 24 will break down to 4 and 6. The square root of 4 is 2, so I get 2i root 6. God bless you. All over 2. And then I can go ahead and reduce here, here, and here. They all reduce, so I get 1 plus or minus I root 6. That's our answer. Okay, this type of problem will not cross the x-axis if I graph it, as far as this being the vertex of a parabola or anything like that. Questions so far? Number 14, my A value is 1, my B value is negative 3, my C value is 1. I have the skeleton of the quadratic formula up there. I get negative 3, so this is going to become a positive. I get negative 3 squared minus 4a c all over 2a. Agree? Negative 3. I get 9. What does this come out to? Negative 4, good. So I get 3 plus or minus square root 5 over 2. Square root 5 will not break down. So this whole thing is my answer. How many answers is this? 2. 3 plus root 5 over 2, and then 3 minus root 5 over 2. Those are your 2 answers. 15, my A value is 3, my B value is negative 11, my C value is negative 2. Again, my skeleton version, so I get negative 11, and then negative 11 squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Negative, that's positive. Negative 11 squared, that's negative 11 times negative 11, which is 121. Negative 4 times 3 is negative 12. Negative 12 times negative 2 is positive 24, all over 6. It's 165? I don't know if that. 145, right? Oh. 145. Jeez. I'll tell you, I'm crazy. All right, and I don't know if 145 will break down. Let's see, 145. Obviously, 1 goes into it. 4 won't go into it because it's not even, and these last 2 digits don't sum up to 5. You're right, but 5 is not a perfect square. You're absolutely right. 5 does go into it, but I'm thinking about the biggest perfect square. Maybe let's see if 9 goes into it. 9 goes into 14 once. 5 left over. 9 goes into 55. Now that doesn't come out even. 16 is not going to work because that's not an even number. 25 is not going to work. If it was 150, 25 would have worked. Or if it was 125, it would have worked as well, but it's not going to work here. I don't think 36 is going to work because that's not. 49. Let's see, 49 times 3. 49 times 3 is 147. That doesn't work. After that, 64 is not going to work. And now I think we're too big because now we're at 81, so that's 162. Nope. So this is our final answer. How many answers is that? 2. 11 plus root 145 over 6 and 11 minus root 145 over 6. Number 16. Before we label our A, B's, and C's, we have to make sure we have it equal to 0. So I subtract the 2, bring it over. Now my A value is 1, my B value is -2, and my C value is also -2. Let's plug in what we know. X equals -b, plus or minus square root there, minus 4ac, all over 2a. Negative, negative, positive. -2 squared. 4, good. Minus positive 8, yeah, baby. All right, so then I get 2 plus or minus square root of 12 over 2. Can I break 12 down where one part of it's a perfect square? 4 and 3. 6 and 2 is absolutely right, but 6 and 2 are perfect. So 4 and 3 will work. So if I break 12 down, 12 breaks down to this, which breaks down to this, which breaks down to this. So in place of root 12, I'm going to put 2 root 3. So I get 2 plus or minus 2 root 3 all over 2. What reduces? The 2's. Good. So everything reduces, so I get 1 plus or minus 1 root 3, or just root 3 all over 1. So that's 2 answers, 1 plus root 3 and 1 minus root 3. Seem okay? There's some places where kids get stuck with the going through it, because a lot of times if you plug it in your calculator, if you go like -5 and square it on your calculator, it gives you an answer of -25. So that's why I keep putting it in parentheses. On this one, I need to move that 12x over, so I'm going to subtract 12x. That'll give me 4x squared minus 12x plus 9 equals 0. My A is 4, my B is -12, and my C is 9. So I get -12 plus or minus -12 squared minus 4ac all over 2a. 12 plus or minus -12 squared. 144. It's positive because it's the quantities being squared. I'm squaring -12. So -12, -12. -4 times 4. -16. -16 times 9. I know it's negative. What's 16 times 9? Anybody? What's 144 minus 144? What's the square root of 0? 0. 12 plus or minus 0 over 8. This is a trick question. 12 plus or minus 0 over 8. How many answers? 2. We're not divided by 0. 0's on top. There's one answer. 12 plus 0 is 12. Yes? 12 minus 0 is 12. So 12 plus 0 is 12. So I get 12 over 8. 12 over 8 is going to reduce to 3 over 2, I think. That's my only answer. So there's one answer on that particular problem. So be cautious sometimes. If underneath the radical comes out to be 0, that's going to only lead you to one answer, even though you still have the plus or minus. Because if you add 0 or subtract 0, it's still the same. 18. I need to move the 2x squared over, so it becomes -2x squared. So my A value is -2, my B value is 24, my C value is -33. 33. If you have a calculator, get it out, please, because it's going to be bigger. See, I have the 24 I'm going to plug in. Notice the negatives goes there. Then I get 24 squared, negative 2, and then negative 33, all over 2a. Okay, so I get negative 24. I'm okay with that. Plus or minus 24 squared. Is that 676? Is it? 576? Oh, man, I was 100 off. Thank you. Okay, so I have negative times negative times negative. So my answer here is going to be what? Negative. Okay. Let's see. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 33. 264. Thank you. All over negative 4. So I get negative 24 plus or minus. What is 576 minus 264? 312? Is that right? Cool. It's positive. That works. Over negative 4. Extend the page. Let's see if 312 will break down. So root 312, see if this breaks down.
78 times 4.
It is 78 times 4? Okay. So I like that. Thank you. Which is 2 root 78. I think that 78 might break down to another perfect square. Does 12 and 4 is 78? Is that right? I don't know if you have a calculator. 4 times 12 is 78?
312 divided by 4 is 78.
How much?
312 divided by 4 is 78. So 78 times 4.
Right, so 78 times 4 is 312, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're down here. Can I break this 78 down, though? I know 1 goes into it, but that's not going to help us. Does 4 go into 78? No. No? Does 9? No, 9 goes in 81. 16, does 16 work? No. Hold over. 25 won't work. 36? 36 times 2, 36 times 2 is 72. 49? No, I think that's about as far as we can go. So where I have 312, root 312, I'm going to put what in? What am I going to change for here? 2 root 78, thank you. So negative 24 plus or minus 2 root 78 all over negative 4. Does negative 24, negative 4, and 2 have something I can reduce? If so, what goes in each? 2. 2, good. So I reduce everything by 2. So this becomes a 1. This becomes a negative 12. This becomes a negative 4. So my answer here is going to be negative 12 plus or minus 1 root 78 or just root 78. God bless you, all over negative 2. Sometimes they'll try and trick you on this type of problem because you have this negative negative. This answer actually comes out to 12 plus or minus root 78 all over positive 2. But either answer I would accept. Either answer I'd accept. Am I doing okay? I think after this, the next ones are just factoring. So number 19, we're trying to factor. So our magic number is negative 18. We know our signs of both them be positive and negative. My factors of 18 are 1 and 18, 2 and 9, and 3 and 6. The two that work, that would one being positive, one being negative, that would add up to 3x is 6x and negative 3x. So I'm going to plug x squared plus 6x minus 3x minus 18. Greatest common factor on the first two is x, that leaves me x plus 6. Greatest common factor on the second is a negative 3, that leaves me x plus 6. So factors x minus 3, x plus 6. Put those both equal to 0, so you get x equals 3 and x equals negative 6. If you'd used the quadratic formula, you would have had a perfect square, and it would have worked out to 3 and negative 6 as well. Okay? But again, factoring is a valuable tool. It doesn't always work, but it's a tool to have kind of in your back pocket. It's a shorter way if you can see them quickly on patterns. Not everyone will see it. The quadratic will always work. Number 20, my magic number is going to be negative 6 because I take the last number and the first number, multiply them together. In order to get a negative, and I need to have alternating signs, so positive and negative. So 1 and 6 and 2 and 3. The two of them that work, one being positive and one being negative, when I add them together, is 6 and negative 1. So if I do my factoring, I find it factors down to 2x minus 1 and x plus 3. And then you'll find x equals half and x equals negative 3 for my answers. And again, if you had plugged it into the quadratic formula, you also would have gotten the exact same answers. Your b squared minus 4ac would have been a perfect square, which would have allowed you to work this out very nicely. Doing okay? Attorney, were you doing all right? He does get my joke. What's that?
Can you go to the
Next slide.
I like this section.
I'm almost done. Almost done. I'm getting there. 21, greatest common factor, factor an x out. So you get x plus 6. So x equals 0, x equals negative 6. 22, difference of two squares. Hey, what's that? X plus 5, x minus 5. So you get x equals negative 5, x equals positive 5. 22, okay. This one, you have negative 12 as your number, which in order to get a negative, you have positive, negative. The factors that will work, they'll give you 1x, it will be 3 and 4. So you wind up with x equals negative, or x equals 1 and x equals negative 4/3. And last one. You get 72. In order to get a positive 72, it has to be positive times positive or negative times negative. It's negative, negative in this one. And negative 8 and negative 9 work. And we wind up finding out that our answers come out to x equals 9 and x is equal to 8. And that one looks like it was a coincidence that our exact factors were actually our answers. We got lucky. Reese, which one do you want me to go back to?
Can you go back to 23?
Okay. Let's see how we do with this real quick. There's 5 questions. I want you to work together on it. And let's real quick. Problems. First problem, square root of 20. Most of you have realized it was 4 times 5, yes? Yeah. What does that get down to?
2 square root 5.
Thank you. 2 square root 5. Done. Root 48 breaks down to 4 times 12, but it also breaks down to 16 times 3. Why do you think I'm choosing 16 times 3 and not 4 times 12?
Because it fits. Because you just factor out 4 out of 12.
There you go. So 16 is the largest perfect square that goes into 48. 4 is a perfect square that does indeed go into it. And if you found it as 4 and 12, then you'd have to reduce 4 or 12 down to 4 and 3. So this is going to give me what for an answer? 4 root 3. Good. 2 root 26. Let's see, what perfect factors square is going to 26? Does 4? No. 9? 16? 25?
I didn't know.
Any perfect squares that go in there? Other than 1? So this answer is just itself. It's already reduced down. You can't take it any further. Does 45 break down?
C.
C? Good. So what and what?
9 and 5.
9 and 5? This 4 has to come along for the ride. Square root of 9 is what?
3.
That's a ton. So I have 4 times 3 root 5. So what's this answer? 12 square root 5. Good. So be careful on that. Hey, does that negative 6 out in front mean I have to have I out there? No. Where does the negative happen where you bring the I out front? Inside the square root. So outside doesn't matter. Does 98 break down into any perfect square?
C.
49 and 2? Go! Yeah. Thank you very little. You gotta change your picture. You look like a 5-year-old kid.
I feel like you should still say hi.
Don't bother. I'm just up here trying to finish stuff. All
right, 49 breaks down to what?
7.
7 toss 7.
7 times 7, so I get this. Agreed? What's the answer? Negative 42 root 2. Good. Good, good, good. How do you feel about that? How's it look? Happy day? All right. So, our assignment today is just continuing to work with the quadratic and a little review. So your assignment, you have the rest, about the next 12 minutes to start on it. So worksheet number 5 is page 103 and 104. Guys and girls, there was only about 10 of you that even did the homework last time. That's pretty pathetic. Okay? Let's take this opportunity to start on this. It's using the quadratic formula. You need a picture of it. It's going to be in the basket. Someone stole your book. You can always take a picture of it.